Welcome to this explainer. If you really look around, the world isn't just some neatly organized spreadsheet. It's messy. It's this deeply interconnected web. Your friendships, the global supply chain, your everyday financial transactions, even the proteins firing inside your body right now. They're all networks. Everything is connected to something else. So today, we're going to unpack exactly how artificial intelligence has evolved to read between those learns. We're going to demystify the fascinating world of graph neural networks and see how machine learning totally transformed from just reading flat lists to actually understanding the complex, intertwined networks of the real world. So think about the massive hurdle we faced in computer science for decades. Traditional AI was basically built to process flat lists of data. Imagine trying to capture the whole human experience in a spreadsheet, where every single row is completely isolated from the next one. Sure, you can list a person's age, their income, where they live, but a spreadsheet totally fails to capture who they're friends with or who influences what they buy or who they borrow money from. Our world is a web, right? But older AI could really only see isolated rows. So the big question is, how do we teach an algorithm to understand organic human relationships or, say, catch a money launderer hiding deep inside a web of global transactions? Well, here is our roadmap for the explainer today. First, we'll look at the graph translation problem. Second, mapping networks with node to vec. Third, GNNs and the neural conversation. Fourth, node classification, catching fraudsters. And finally, link prediction, recommending movies. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the graph translation problem. Okay, so traditional machine learning leans heavily on this thing called the IID assumption. That stands for independent and identically distributed. Basically, it assumes every single data point exists in a total vacuum, completely unaffected by the data points around it. But in a graph, relationships completely shatter that assumption. Take social media, for example. We see this phenomenon called homophilia, birds of a feather flock together. People constantly influence each other. They share interests, political views, and behaviors with their friends, creating these massive echo chambers. You just can't treat these people as independent variables. So graph machine learning does the exact opposite of traditional ML. It actively embraces this interconnectedness as the absolute most important piece of the puzzle. Now, to bridge this huge translation gap, we use graph representation learning, and the absolute core technology here is creating what we call embeddings. An embedding is just the process of taking a discrete graph structure, so the individual nodes and the hard lines connecting them, and transforming them into continuous vector representations. What does that mean in plain English? Well, we're basically taking the messy visual web of a network and translating it into a standardized set of mathematical coordinates. And standard machine learning algorithms can actually read, process, and understand those coordinates. Think of it exactly like trying to explain a really complex city layout to a stranger. You could just hand them a massive alphabetical list of every single street name and intersection, and technically, yeah, the data's all there, but it's completely useless for actually navigating. But if you draw a physical map with geometric coordinates, suddenly everything clicks. You can calculate the exact distances between places, you see how neighborhoods border each other, and you instantly get the spatial relationships. Graph embeddings create that exact kind of mathematical map for the AI. Moving right along to section 2, mapping networks with node to vec. So before modern neural networks really took off, researchers needed a way to figure out which entities naturally belonged together. Actually, there's this famous, kind of hilarious dataset in network science called the Zachary Karate Club. Back in the 1970s, a researcher watched a university karate club where a huge, bitter feud broke out between the instructor, Mr. Hai, and the club president. The conflict literally split the whole club into two rival factions. By mapping the social ties, just looking at who hung out with who outside of class, algorithms can easily cluster the members and accurately predict which faction each student was going to join. To get an early AI to see these distinct communities, researchers came up with a pivotal technique called node-to-vec. Node-to-vec works on this incredibly clever encoder-decoder framework. First, it takes what we call random walks through the network. Imagine blindfolding someone at a party and just having them randomly wander from group to group, writing down who they bump into. By doing this thousands of times, the algorithm figures out who generally hangs out together. Second, it uses those paths to create vectors, those mathematical map coordinates we talked about that capture the unique social context of every person. And third, a decoder checks those coordinates to predict relationships. If two people end up with nearly identical mathematical vectors, boom, they're probably in the same karate faction. It's just a brilliant, highly effective way to map out a network. All right, section 3, GNNs and the neural conversation. Now, Node2Vec is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but it's what data scientists call a shallow embedding. It's time to elevate the tech to the massive paradigm shift we actually use today: graph neural networks, or GNNs. GNNs completely abandon that random walking approach. Instead, they use a real game changer called message passing. During each iteration, every single node simultaneously looks at all of its direct neighbors and aggregates their information. Then it processes those messages to extract what's actually relevant. And finally, it uses that new insight to update its own mathematical representation. Researchers actually describe this process as a literal neural conversation, and I absolutely love that framing. Round after round, nodes are sharing information with their neighbors, creating this massive ripple effect of knowledge across the entire graph. In round 1, your node learns everything about its immediate friends. In round 2, it learns about its friends' friends. By round 3 or 4, your single individual node has developed a deep, incredibly nuanced structural understanding of exactly where it fits within the entire community. But to make this neural conversation super precise and keep it from turning into total noise, GNNs employ a few genius tricks. First up, attention mechanisms. Imagine being at a really crowded, incredibly loud party. You don't listen to everyone in the room equally, right? You tune out the background noise and focus your attention just on the person speaking to you. GNNs do the exact same thing, allowing nodes to weigh some neighbors as vastly more important than others. Next, we have normalization layers. These act like a volume knob, making sure a node with 3,000 connections doesn't mathematically drown out a node with only 3. And finally, skip connections. These act as a memory anchor, ensuring that as a node learns all about the vast network around it, it never accidentally forgets its own fundamental original features. Which brings us to Section 4, Node Classification, catching fraudsters. Let's look at some real-world applications. So in graph machine learning, we basically have two distinct superpowers, and we need to clearly tell them apart. First, when we look at a massive network, are we trying to figure out the hidden identity of the entity itself? That is node classification, like tagging a specific user account as a fraudster. Or alternatively, are we trying to figure out if two separate entities should be connected in the future? That's link prediction, like guessing if you'll absolutely love a specific movie. Let's tackle node classification first. Think of node classification like the ultimate detective story. Look, fraudsters and criminals are incredibly smart. They cover their tracks by layering funds through hundreds of shell accounts, creating a tangled web that human investigators can barely even follow. But using a tool like the elliptic dataset, we can build a massive graph where every single node is a financial transaction. Through message passing, the GNN detective sees the entire web all at once. It looks at the neighborhood of a seemingly innocent transaction. Is it interacting downstream with known shady accounts? Does the structural flow of the money perfectly mirror a known laundering ring? The GNN reads that deep embedding and ruthlessly classifies the node as licit, meaning legal, or illicit. We're literally catching bad actors just by analyzing the company their money keeps. How cool is that? And that leads us to Section 5, Link Prediction, recommending movies. Our second superpower, link prediction, is really all about forecasting the future. Think about the platforms you use every single day, like Netflix or Amazon. The data in those networks is always beautifully incomplete. Maybe you haven't watched or rated a specific sci-fi movie yet, but based on your history, the system knows you would be absolutely obsessed with it if you did. Link prediction infers these missing edges. It scans the massive global network of who watched what and predicts exactly where a brand new connection is destined to be drawn. Modern recommendation engines actually pull this off using what's called a heterogeneous graph, which really just means the graph has different types of nodes. So in this case, we have millions of user nodes and thousands of movie nodes. The graph neural network learns deep embeddings for both categories. It passes messages from all the action movies you've ever rated directly back to your user node, forging this totally unique mathematical shape that represents your specific taste. Then a decoder takes your user shape, compares it to the mathematical shape of a new movie's traits, and calculates a compatibility score. It's essentially checking to see if your preferences physically fit into the movie's profile. If the score is high enough, the AI draws a link and boom, a highly personalized, incredibly accurate recommendation pops up right on your home screen. And that brings us to the end of our journey today. We've traveled from isolated, flat lists of data all the way to deep, rich neural conversations that map the very fabric of reality. You, watching this right now, are a node existing in millions of overlapping graphs, your family, your internet history, your local economy. Graph neural networks are finally unlocking the ability to truly understand those connections, whether it's stopping global financial fraud right in its tracks, or honestly just helping you find the perfect movie on a Friday night. This technology is a complete game changer. As our world becomes infinitely more interconnected by the second, what incredible new discoveries await us when AI fully masters reading between the lines? I hope this explainer sparked your curiosity to dive even deeper into this stuff. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.